What's up, guys? Welcome to the workshop. First episode of the workshop. Workshop is pretty much a nice little show we're gonna do. We're gonna try to do it weekly. We're gonna be shooting the shit, talking random news, talking random gaming stuff, anything that we really want to talk about, share, anything crazy going on. I'm Bowser. Bowser's very nice 7. Started YouTube around 2011, 2012. I just make random gaming videos, compilations, stuff me and my friends are doing. Any type of video projects. I just kind of do whatever. Never really honed in on one kind of area. But I'm here with Jamon, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure thing. So, as Bowser had mentioned, I'm Jamon. You might have seen me on Twitch as Jamon the Great. It's all the same thing. All of our socials will be linked in the description so that you can find them. But I've been on YouTube for a while just as a consumer, but I haven't really made videos up until I want to say 2021, 2022 is when I started making YouTube content. I do anything from let's plays to reactionary content, and I would stream on the side. I took a 3-year hiatus, and then I got back into the thick of things, and I'm here now for the first episode of the workshop, which is very exciting because I think we have an excellent lineup of news articles and things just going on in the world to cover today. So yeah, I'm really excited just to get into this because this is a project that's been in the work for a while now. We've put in a lot of effort once we had time on our schedules to kind of think this through, come up with some ideas, and finally put pen to paper. So being here in this moment is actually kind of surreal, man. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
No,
it's kind of surreal for
I'm
me.
I'm excited. Like it's just nice to get back into the groove of things and just being able to talk. And with
Mhm.
how saturated a market like this is, I think there's a nice benefit because for me, um, ideally, I hope I could get back into just making more content, more videos. Obviously, to the audience, I have outside of Bowser 7, I have like meme channels. I have a horror channel called Darkwire where I'm like trying to do horror stories. So like, I like to I like to kind of do a lot of the big project content creation. Like when it comes to like, hey, if I'm gonna do a story that someone wrote, like a true horror story, I like to do something like that. Or if there's like I have like a back burner project I haven't even finished yet. I think I told you about that whole Clinton Road, the most haunted road in the United States. It's a video project
Yep.
I just haven't even finished yet. It just requires so much work, and a lot of times when it comes to shit like this, just trying to have the motivation to want to record, set time up, editing, and I mean, we both. I mean, this isn't our livelihood, but when you're working like full time jobs, and I mean, where do you find the balance? You really have to time box and schedule everything out, and so that's kind of what it is now. I'm trying to be more attentional with like, hey, like I'm gonna spend some time like actually recording, or I'm gonna spend some time actually editing, just like we're doing now, setting some time aside to just talk right now. And I know you're more of the what's the word to describe you? Like a like that's wild. Like a just a standard gaming vlogging type of personality. Like, would you consider yourself you're trying to get to the influencer?
Uh,
Like,
I don't know because when I have a vision of an influencer in my mind, it it's someone who is just well known to the point where they don't even have to play games anymore. Like they can just their influence is beyond gaming. You know what I mean? And for me, I kind of just want to stick in that realm of gaming and be known for that at least right now. I say that just as a video game fan, just as somebody who grew up playing video games, and I don't really like to be in the limelight or be in those positions where, everywhere I go, it's like a crowd of people trying to say hi or get a picture with me. Like that's probably the last thing I want. I'm more so like put it to you this way. My thing with YouTube and why I'm even doing it is that I want to inspire others, if that makes sense. Like my goal is to just show people that it's okay to be passionate about anything that you are passionate about and have that passion just exude from you and latch on to others and get them inspired to do something great. Because for me, I watch a lot of basketball. I see how passionate those dudes are on the court. I'm obviously nowhere near as skilled as they are, but I respect the passion, I respect the grind, and I respect the commitment they have to something they love. And I want to do the same thing for video games. So if somebody can look at my content and not even necessarily be a video game player or fan or anything, they can at least appreciate the love and passion I have for video games and, try to replicate it for something they love, like cooking or
Mm.
something like that. And, hopefully their content, their passion and commitment will later down the line inspire other people. Cause I have and this is like gonna go on to like a whole nother
Oh yeah,
tangent,
it's
so
more
I'll keep it
noble than
short.
Wad doing this. Go ahead. Like shit, I feel like a loser now. Go ahead.
No, no, don't worry about it. But I was just going to say that like I feel like today in like today's society, there are a lot of people out there that are so caught up in what other people think,
Oh, 100%.
especially because of like how big and influential social media is. Like everyone has access to everyone now. You can like literally just get on social media and see what somebody's up to, and having all those eyes on you at all times kind of, sometimes people might feel uncomfortable truly expressing themselves. They might be into something that is deemed lame or just uncool by the general public,
Mm.
and they kind of have to suppress themselves or their interests just to make face for a bunch of people they don't even really know. And it's sad that we live in times like that, and it's sad that there are people that feel the need to suppress themselves. And I really just want to help those people, help them understand that it doesn't fucking matter what these people think, dude. Just do
What
you, just
what
have fun.
communities or places where you've seen a lot of that happen? I mean, I myself, I'm honest. I avoid social media like the plague.
Mhm.
I feel like I have to sometimes, but I mean, does a lot of that type of stuff go on still, where people are just
Oh, absolutely, dude. It happens a lot in the Black community. Just off the top of my head, Black community alone is probably my biggest like target audience, if you will. There's a lot of just stuff that goes on in our community, like homophobia for certain things, like wearing certain clothes all of a sudden makes you gay.
mm,
Like, that's not how that works, dog. But you go to certain areas in the Black community, and then they will tell you that is how that works. You wear a certain article of clothing that's a bit too feminine, he's gay. And it's as simple as that to them.
no stuff like that. Though people like to joke about a lot of that stuff too, especially.
Yeah. They unironically joke about it, but then behind closed doors would like, they like that kind of stuff. But because the people around them are saying these jokes or saying these like generalizations, they just hide it, you know. There are a lot of people that I know that have come up to me and told me that like let's use anime for an example.
Okay,
Anime back then, before it was mainstream, it was almost frowned upon to come out as an anime fan. You were like a bona
I remember
fide
that. I
nerd.
remember that. I
Yeah,
remember
it was
reading about that.
terrible. It was up there with being dark skinned at a time. Because back then, being dark skinned, like they used to get so many jokes and so many roasts, and people would just like, you remember the whole like light skin versus dark skin thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There was like a like a racial war in like
Yeah,
between.
yeah.
It was the dumbest shit, but like it was like that to the point where people would they just would hide the fact that they watched anime and stuff. But now that it's become more accepting, you see all these anime fans. A lot of these
Conventions
people,
and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, but a lot of these people are not new to anime. They've been watching it all this time, but have just now accepting it, accepting that part of them and showing that to the world. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I myself, it's kind of interesting because I wonder if subconsciously, 'cause I never got into anime, and then like
Mhm.
a lot of the segregation is that if that's even the right word and prejudice that you're describing, I haven't even been on the receiving end of that, or even I feel like even witness. Maybe I just haven't been in those circles where that happens, and maybe it just occurs more um online in places you're at, or have you noticed a lot of this more in like online sense, a person sense, everywhere?
It's definitely more online because nobody's ever gonna say something to my face about anything that they want to say. Um, I will say, like, people down here in Florida are generally more accepting of like
Mm-hmm.
certain things, but then
Really,
they are also, yeah, certain things like I don't know, like Southern hospitality is just real, and so
I don't
like
think so.
I
I
I, I think it is like I don't know.
I feel like the most mean people I've ever come across. I mean, cold, vindictive, just dirty. Has been down the south.
Really?
I feel like I have met more. I kid you not. Now, I'm gonna say this with a grain of salt, especially anyone listening. I've only been in the city for like 2 years. Um, and on top of that, it was like Astoria, Queens, which I'm thinking Queens and Astoria is. I think Astoria is a better place. I'm not a New
Yeah.
Yorker at heart, but when I was in upstate New York, people were just nicer to me than they are down here. Like
Really?
people are just rude down here to me. Like
All of the meanest people I know, unironically, are from New York.
New Yorkers are
Like,
pretty
no
rude.
bullshit.
New
No
Yorkers are
bullshit.
pretty rude.
Th They're all from New York. And then so I know you don't follow the NBA, but me being from Indiana, naturally, I'm a Pacers fan. There's a clip of a Pacers fan walking the streets of New York while they were like during the series, the Eastern Conference Finals, and they fucking jumped this dude. They're like throwing trash at him, they're pushing him around, taunting him,
Why?
borderline just like beating his ass in broad daylight in the middle of New York just
What the
because he
fuck?
wore a Pacers jersey.
Sport fans get that physical with each other with shit like that?
It gets worse than that, dude. If you take this out of like the American context and like take it overseas to some countries,
Like with yeah, with
they would
football.
they would literally attempt to assassinate their own players if they don't perform. Like no bullshit. No bullshit. They will assassinate you if you do not perform for your country.
Oh my god.
It gets serious, man. Like soccer is a big one. I know we call it soccer here. It's football,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
internationally. Cricket is another big one. Like sports like those, they take it really seriously.
I
And
can't.
basketball,
So let me get
it's
this.
not as bad here, but over there, you would lose your life over that.
Let me get this straight. When you say assassinate, we're talking about you playing in a football game over, like overseas or something. And if you don't perform well, someone threatens to kill you.
Yeah, like exactly how you described it. Like if I like let's put it to you this way.
So the games
Let's
are
say I was
literally
a
life or
basketball.
death.
For some of them, yeah, for some people they are.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
If you're like a star player, you're probably safer than most, but like if you're a role player, so for instance, if I was in the NBA and I played for the Orlando Magic because that's my local team here, and we're playing like a very important game, and I'm just a role player. I got one job, and I go out on that court, just stand there doing nothing, digging in my ass, and then throw the game away. If we were in other countries, I would be receiving death threats. I'd have to be escorted out of the building with like security. I'd be getting stuff thrown at me. Like my family would have to be relocated to another
Fuck.
like apartment. Like it gets that serious for certain sports and certain fan bases, dude. It's not even like
You know, speaking of that, honestly, I think this is actually a really good segue. In my corner, I could actually, I mean, both of our corners. I think the wildest shit I've ever seen, and I mean, like, I'm trying to think of a. If you think of an example, please cut me off. But like, gamers who death actually send death threats to the actors, developers. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, how bad do you have to be to like threaten to kill somebody for a fucking video game? I
And a lot of it is just because it's online, you know. Like people get behind the screen and get like 10 times tougher than they
but,
are,
but, but,
you
but
know.
there's been cases where people like in like I think it was either Fortnite or Call of Duty where people have actually done shit that gotten people actually killed over like swatting.
Oh,
People
yeah.
have
Yeah,
like literally.
no doubt. Yeah.
I mean, are you familiar with something? Any of those cases? I think there's
Not
one.
I've I mean, I've seen like cases of people getting swatted and like the person that got swat ended up actually dying. It did happen a while ago from what I remember, but yeah, I know what you're talking about, but the instances and when this happens is like very small compared to all the trolling and bullshit that goes on like online. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
When was it? 2019? Yeah, this is what I was thinking of.
You know what? Actually, yeah. Let's look at the story. Hang on 1 second. An
2019
Ohio
is
gamer gets
crazy.
prison time over a swatting call that led to a man's death. An Ohio video gamer who played in a role in a hoax phone call that led to police to kill a man in Kansas was sentenced Friday to 15 months in prison.
That's it.
Casey S. Viner, 19, was one of three defendants in a case of swatting, making a false report to some police somewhere. Yada yada. Authorities said Viner asked one of the co-defendants to make the call because of an argument over an online video game, an argument that turned out not even to have involved Finch.
That is
Viner of a Cincinnati suburb was sentenced to federal court in Wichita after pleading guilty to one count each of conspiracy and obstructing justice. U.S. Attorney's Office of Kansas argument about a game. What game was it? Viner admitted that he had argued with the third co-defendant again,
over
which
World War II.
dude
The
said,
one
dude
one of
said
one of the most ass Call of Duties in recent. Remember, you died over that. Like, bro, that is crazy.
that,
I just had like PTSD of how ass that game was, and if you would have told me that I would lose my life over a 2 pack of ass, I would, dude. I'd take my life right then and there just so that wouldn't happen. Like,
dude, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. No, but like, and another instances I could think of is like people starting to kill people over like game decisions. I biggest one comes to my mind is like The Last of Us. I think people
oh
were
yeah,
I think people were threatening the devs over like Joel uh I think we're past the statute of limitations for that game. Joel getting killed and I'm just like it's like crazy, dude. It's like actually insane of how some people like just act.
yeah. They get mad when you when they don't cast certain actors or they cast the wrong actor. Like The Last of Us is a good example. Ellie's actor, I don't know her name, but like
Yeah.
people are up in arms about how ugly she is and how she doesn't look like Ellie.
What
And
is this for the Last of Us season 2?
for
Uh
both season 1 and
oh,
2,
we're talking.
it
So we're talking HBO now.
yeah,
Okay, go on.
it's worse for season 2 because people are making more and more memes about how ugly she is and stuff like that. But another example is The Little Mermaid, how they basically changed Ariel's race and got a black woman to play Ariel.
What's your thought on that?
I mean, me personally, I don't give a damn. Like it is what it is, you know? It doesn't bother me at all.
Do you
But
think it's forced representation, or
if it is, it doesn't affect me because I don't watch those movies anyway. You know what I
that's fair?
mean?
That's fair.
So my perspective is one of an outsider's perspective. I don't know if what I have to say really is valid to this because I don't consume that
Yeah.
kind of media. So I don't know how I would feel. So to me, as a black man, I guess it's pretty cool. You know, we got a black girl playing Ariel. I remember Ariel as is a white woman, red
Hmm.
hair,
Hmm.
mermaid. She's black now. That's cool. You know? Like,
Does it like what's the word? Because I mean, there's a lot of arguments for something like this. A lot of people
mhm.
like, yeah, it's just like pure race swapping. You're race swapping a IP, and like you're is on some people say, yeah, you're paying disrespect to the original
Yeah.
creation and what it originally was supposed to be. And some people see that as a negative. Some people say, hey, like, what's the point? Like, why race swap in general? For the
Yeah.
sake of just forced representation. Um, I I feel like Disney does this primarily. I'm gonna be honest. It makes a lot of sense publicly and from a monetary sense to do it. That's I truly do believe that's like
Yeah.
it's.
And
I mean, it's
and
no.
I appreciate you for choosing those words specifically because Mickey Mouse has ears everywhere where I'm at. Like they I'm telling you, dude, everywhere you go, you see those damn ears on somebody's head. There, it's literally the mark of the beast. All of my taxes go to Mickey Mouse. My internet connection probably runs through Cinderella's castle before it gets to wherever it needs to go. So I appreciate you for attempting to keep me safe by not blatantly calling this mouse a fucking like crook. Like, because at the end of the day, that's what he is. He's a
I
crook.
mean,
He's race swapping
it's
for profits.
it's no like it's not a joke that I think a lot of DEI initiatives are pushing with a lot of companies, especially I don't know when it started, but I mean it's all over. I mean there is consultancy agencies that work with certain
Yeah.
games for representation and certain studios for representation. And I think it depends on like my my personal take is, and I'm gonna be completely transparent. I am someone who I don't like forced politics and forced agendas pushed into existing media for the sake of it being there.
Like
Now,
existing media, like for instance, The Little Mermaid, like something that has already.
I say I don't even want to say that because I don't watch fucking Disney. I don't fucking watch Disney. I want
That's
to.
true. Let's say like let's say they were remaking like shit, dude. What I'm trying to think of like a good example.
There's good examples out there. I'm trying to think what's one I could give you. God damn.
I can't think of one either. But for the sake of
probably look it up
what
while
was
we're
it?
talking. I mean, if you let's see if it comes to your mind. I'm gonna actually look it up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, for the sake of the conversation, if we were just to say just a video game in general where they were forcing DEI, which maybe Dragon Age Veilguard might be an example of like forced diversity. If you remember anything about like the news with like that game
I
coming
don't.
out.
You're gonna have to teach me.
So if you could pull it up just to like give us
Yeah.
a refresher, but
Yeah.
I
What
know
game was
that
it?
game, a Dragon Age Veilguard. I know that game got a lot of shit, for a lack of better term, just for like how poor the writing was, as well as how forced some of the agendas that they were just obviously trying to push, specifically with like
Oh,
the
here it is.
LGBT. Yeah, yeah, right here. The most significant point of contention amongst these detractors seemed to be the game's prominent use of non-binary, transgender, and queer characters. And there's literally a clip in the game with one of the characters. You're like sitting at a table with another woman,
Mm-hmm.
and another like female canary comes in, and it's literally like this. Like, watch my screen if you can. The character literally comes into frame like this, and she says what I'm about to say too.
Okay.
So guys, I'm non-binary. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's the most random shit that's just forced on you. And it's like, don't get me
That's
wrong. I'm not against the LGBT plus community in any shape or form.
yeah.
I'm not. But I also just like, that's just poor writing. Like, why the fuck? Like, you don't open a conversation like that.
I actually
And if
just
you
yeah.
and if you do, be prepared for it to be an awkward fucking conversation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No, like that's actually kind of wild.
You probably could find the same clip that I'm talking about and edit it into the video, or yeah, if you want to watch it live now, we can do
This
that.
is
You could type in like non-binary Dragon Age. It's gonna pop up.
there's no way,
Yo,
dude. This is an actual scene in this game.
this is an ag. Yep, right here. That second, yep, the first or second one, whichever one you want to do.
All right. How far should I fast forward into this?
This is where we
Um,
eat.
Like right here?
Honestly, you could play it from the beginning because I'm pretty sure she's gonna. As soon as they sit down, I think she just says it.
I see.
Shathan, it's good to see you again.
My child wished to show me where she now lived.
I made food.
You can maybe skip like 10 seconds.
Iskap. Made it myself.
And do you have powdered ginger for the table?
I'll go get some.
When she comes back and sits down, I think is when it happens.
You are
I haven't heard any complaints.
You might
you
want
are
to keep
emotionally
going.
sane about my child fits.
Yeah, it's the highlights here.
Thank you.
So, I'm non-binary.
Like,
What does
what
that
the
mean?
fuck? You
Means I
facts.
don't feel like a man or a woman.
Yo. Wait.
Like, you saw that whole minute and 57-second conversation, most likely had nothing to do with that shit at all. And she comes down and is like, so I'm non-binary.
Yo, like that is okay, that is forced.
That's the level of agenda pushing we're talking about.
So like a good example for my sake, I have a very hot take. A lot of people hate The Last of Us Part 2, the game, because a lot of the same type of woke comments, all that. But like when it's kind of funny. There's two sides to that coin. There's one side of just people hating the game because it's badly written, and I can see the argument there. People how don't like how Joel was handled.
Mhm.
I played those games back to back. Like I didn't play The Last of Us Part 1 on PS3 and then wait whole
Yeah.
like what was it, like 5-10 years for the second one to come out.
I don't know if it was 10 years. It was between 5 and 10, I think, though.
Yeah, and then I played them back to back, so I came out of it really enjoying the title. I mean, and because I know there's a transgender character in it. Obviously, Ellie, being lesbian.
Mhm.
It didn't bother me per se because the story was still. I mean, I still enjoyed the story, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel. It definitely didn't feel forced, but arguments can be made. I probably need to go a lot more deeper into that controversy. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it because I haven't played The Last of Us 2. I've only seen and heard stuff that happens in the game, but like I think where the discourse happens is because you didn't have that 5-year gap or however long it was to play
Yeah,
both
I
games.
didn't
So,
get
like,
that emotional attachment most people did to the
yeah,
characters.
and it kind of naturally transitioned for you. For them, it probably felt like a slap in the face because there were no clear signs or indications that Ellie was gonna grow up to be lesbian or, they didn't expect what happened to Joel to happen and that emotional attachment kicked in. And so when they're expressing their distaste for those decisions, a lot of it is just emotionally driven. But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone actually cares. I mean, maybe they do, but
A lot of
like
people,
what you
I remember a lot of people. I'm gonna look it up actually.
curvy mod.
Ignore that. I do not like y'all. I can't. Y'all, bro, y'all. He saw my search results.
Now we see why you were playing this game. He doesn't actually care about the story, guys. It's a whole
was part 2. Laura Bailey getting death threats over Abby Roll. Yeah, I remember. I remember seeing this.
yeah.
Are these supposed to be Twitters that are like?
Dang,
Like,
2020.
of course, it's not the first time something like this happened. Actors, especially actresses, are harassed about things or characters all the time. I'm especially reminded of what happened with Anna Gunn, actress who played Skylar White, Breaking Bad. Who was okay? Skylar is pretty bad though. I mean, she's
But this is just crazy to me, dude. Like I cannot believe that there are people this invested to the point where you're sending death threats to
Yeah,
people.
that
Like
is
that is wild to me. That like when I say I'm pretty sure nobody actually cares, that's where I'm coming from. Like, how could you care enough to send death threats? Like, and I guess like sending a death threat is one thing, fully acting on it and
another.
following up is another.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's actually following up on those death threats. Like, I hope not. Like, God forbid that's actually happening. And so that's kind of what I meant when I said like nobody actually really cares, but they obviously care enough to send death threats, which is ridiculous to me. I don't
has there
know.
ever been a story where someone goes to a game studio angry? Has someone
Probably.
actually done that before?
I would not be surprised if that has actually happened.
And goes to game studio, mad or protest.
And I bet you it probably is somebody from Florida.
Why would it?
Like this sounds like a Florida man article. Are you familiar with the Florida Man meme?
I am. You guys are crazy down there.
Yeah, like
This is like performance. Yeah, it's not. I don't think anyone's actually done that, but I didn't.
If you're watching this, don't get any
Yeah,
ideas.
you didn't get it. You didn't get it from us.
Get it from us.
You didn't get it from us. No, I definitely wanted to talk. Something definitely big this week happened, and I really wanted your personal takes on it. So we're just coming up on the Switch 2 launch, and I have a lot of things I want to say about this console. I feel like I don't even have it in my hands yet, which is a whole nother fucking story. But I really, you have the console. You've actually got your hands on it. You actually got a day of release. Congratulations.
Somehow, yeah.
And I really want to know, like, what's your initial reactions to the whole console? Like, from what you've told me very briefly, you like it. It's okay. But I know a lot of people don't, and I really want to know, like, where you stand with this console. Like, is it worth the asking price of $450? Almost $500 after taxes.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm gonna preface everything I'm about to say by saying I only play Nintendo games on my Nintendo consoles, and I have a PC, but the specs on it are not, they're dated. I built this PC back in 2018, and even then I built it with like 2017 parts, if that makes sense. So with those two things in mind, also I'm very fortunate to make the amount of money that I do at my job. So those three things are going to be like key to what I'm about to say. For me, well, let me go over like the experience, because I know there was a lot of chaos and a lot of like hype surrounding the console. It was a very chill experience going to get this console. At least it was for me. I pulled up to a Target an hour after they had opened, basically walked up to the electronics department, submitted my name to get put in a virtual queue. 10 minutes later, I get, a text saying that, hey, you're ready to come in line and order your Switch or whatever. I order it. I walk out, but before I walk out, the lady hands me a free Nintendo Switch 2 tote bag just as a complimentary gift for purchasing the system. And I was on my way back home. It was like a very, I don't want to say lackluster experience, because I'm glad I had the experience I had.
You just went and bought something. Yeah.
Yeah, but given the hype and how fast pre-orders sold out, and we went through that whole process back in April, given everything that was like building up to this moment, it did leave me in a state where I was like, well, I guess I just have the Switch. I get like, it didn't feel,
and I think that right there,
or,
we have to make sure we give. I think Nintendo does deserve some credit there, making sure that the launch experience and the retailers as well was planned relatively well for people to come in person and grab it. I mean, they
at least for where I was at, because I've seen stories where it was hellacious and people were fighting over like consoles and all kinds of stuff. Like, it gets bad in certain areas, and then you got people waiting in line, and that
the inventory
causes
was there. I mean, from reports, the inventory was there. Like, they didn't have, like, it wasn't to the point where if you wanted a Switch and if you tried hard enough, you could get a Switch. It wasn't like, it definitely wasn't like 2020 with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the graphics cards. It's definitely nothing like that. Like, if you wanted one of those consoles, you could get one.
And depending on the area, your chances are probably higher if not many people in your area. And I think that's what happened to me. Not many people were trying to get the Switch, because I lived in an area where like the average age is like 45 or something like that. So these motherfuckers are not buying Switches unless it's for their grandchildren. And even then, they're probably just buying the Switch 1 thinking it's the 2. So like, you know, I got lucky. My overall thoughts of the system though, with the 3 caveats that I asked that we all keep in mind. I like it. I like it. I know that there weren't any like real Nintendo Switch 2 titles that came with the system at launch. Really, Mario Kart World is the only game that's available right now that's like specifically for Switch 2 if you don't count any of the other third-party games that have already been out, just ported over. But again, I only play my Nintendo's consoles for Nintendo games. So Cyberpunk and all the other third-party games don't
Yeah.
really matter to me in terms of like my experience. The other thing too is that for me, I have a lot of games on my backlog that I have not even touched yet. Like for instance, I have Tears of the Kingdom. I think I have that game like right here still wrapped.
You do?
Yeah,
Let's see it.
it's
Show it off.
literally still wrapped. I don't know if you can see, but like
Holy
I
shit.
cannot open this.
Why have you opened it?
I haven't played it. There's no reason for me to open it.
Wow.
But
It's mint condition.
this is one of the few games that has an upgrade
So, yeah,
on
Switch
the
2
Switch
upgrade.
2. And so for me, this might as well be a Switch 2 title. I have not played this game. I have not experienced anything. I have not watched any gameplay, mostly because I don't really like Breath of the Wild. So I knew this was going to be more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's another hot take that we can save for another topic. But Pokemon, this game was dog water on the Switch 1. And I'm a huge Pokemon fan. So for me to say that just breaks my heart. But on the Switch 2, the upgraded performance helps so much. This might as well be a brand new game, And I've played all through Violet. I haven't touched Scarlet because my experience with Violet on the Switch 1 was that fucking horrendous. So this is, again, something that I'm looking forward to. So I have 3 games already that I'm looking forward to play on the Switch 2. I have Fire Emblem Engage that I have not opened. It's still in the plastic. This is another game that I can play on my Switch 2. This doesn't have the upgraded visuals or anything like that, but it's still another title I can play. What else? Mario Party. If you follow my Twitch, we throw down in Mario Party, and they are announcing, an expansion for this sometime later.
The TV pack, something like that.
Yeah, the TV pack that we're probably only going to play once and never again.
TV, I think that's what they're calling it.
Yeah, and it's those kinds of games that make me not even need a lot of like first party titles that come with like the Switch 2. Like Donkey Kong didn't have to be a day one for me because I have like 3 other games. What else did they announce that was like Metroid did not have to be a day one release for me because I have those other games.
Yeah, Metroid's not a day one release, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
That's not coming out till like later. But when it does, we will be covering that game over on either my YouTube or my Twitch. So make sure y'all check that out. But yeah, shameless plug. I had to. But overall, I mean, I like it, dude. It's, again, the performance you get on this thing is like 10 times better than the Switch. And that's really all I ever wanted, was just the Switch to be more powerful. Because I don't know. I have this PlayStation, I have the Xbox, I have a PC. Any third-party game, I would just go play on there. So like performance to me on those games don't really matter. But performance on something like Pokemon, on something like Tears of the Kingdom, that's a game changer for me. Now, when you consider all of that, is it worth $500? To the average person, absolutely not. It definitely isn't. But to me, it doesn't really matter to me because, again, that third caveat, I'm fortunate to make the amount of money that I have. So it doesn't really matter to me. But I can definitely see where and why somebody would think the price to get this console, given the lack of titles, given the lack of like unique features. I can understand why they would think it's egregious.
That's fair. And I think you kind of hit another. I think there was like one point I think I've also seen a lot of people talk about is that from what the discourse I've seen is that this console is missing that Nintendo oomph. That
Yeah.
that WoW title, that WoW Kirby title, that WoW Zelda title, that WoW Mario title. Mario Kart World, I haven't played it myself. I don't get my console to either. I don't know. It was supposed to come today. It may come tomorrow. I don't know when it's coming. It's supposed to be either today or Tuesday. God damn. I'm a pre-order cuck, and it's another whole nother story. But I mean, it's the most expensive Nintendo console we ever gotten. They with one of the most expensive games ever most expensive Nintendo game, and excuse me, it's pricing a lot of people out. I mean, it's pricing a lot of people out. A lot of people can't afford a console like this, and it's funny that because you brought up a lot of good games. Like you have a good use case for the system. I am literally someone who has spent $547 on Mario Kart. like
Essentially, yeah. Like
when you
think about it,
when you look at now, but here's the thing. I can also say the same thing for The Last of Us. So before Last of Us Part 1, Part 2 was on the PC, I bought a PS5 with the sole intention of playing The Last of Us. That's why I wanted to play The Last of Us. I wanted to give it a shot. I spent $500 something on that console. And I played both The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2. I think Part 2 the remastered Part 1, and I think the remastered Part 2 because Part 2 originally came on the PS4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then remastered Part 2. I didn't regret that purchase. I really fucking loved that game. Like that game stuck with me. It was really, really good. And I replayed it on PC when it came to PC, but I have no idea what my opinion is when when I get my Switch 2. Like, is Mario Kart going to be that game like that blows me away? Because again, I still got all my Mario games, and when if the Switch 2 ends up becoming just a main place where I play most of my Mario, and just to preface this audience, I don't even just play Net. I just play fucking Mario. Like that's all I play. Like it's a Mario box for me.
His name is Bowser, guys. You thought he was playing Metroid? Like
I buy Nintendo games. I buy Nintendo consoles for Mario, and honestly, for me, I'm nervous because I really wonder how much fun is Mario Kart World going to be, where it keeps me entertained enough where, yeah, that price of entry was worth it. Because again, girlfriends, friends, there's always going to be people to play Mario games with, couch co-op games, which is cool. I'm definitely not opposed to that. It just makes you wonder, like a game I love is Miitopia. Did Miitopia get a upgrade for the Switch 2? Because that game runs just 30 FPS. Like that's actually a non-Mario game I own. I actually fucking like Miitopia.
I forgot about that game. They're making a new one, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah, that's not coming out till like later this year though.
Miitopia sequel? I'll just type in Miitopia 2. It's a role-playing game, sequel to
there's like some kind of like me game that's coming out. And then it just well,
no,
none
I
of
don't.
these. What is the name of that game then? It's like me something.
I don't. It's probably similar.
Like switch to me.
Switch to me. What we got here? Why?
I forget.
What is this?
Or me game. My bad.
Wait, what the hell is this story? The Mii characters on the Nintendo Switch 2 are now genderless?
Yeah, they just use body types now. Like
Oh boy, that's
they aren't like necessarily male or female.
yeah. Well, we're definitely not getting what you're looking for because this story is just popping everywhere about how the Mii's have
No,
their gender.
I promise you we are though. Type in me game like at the end. Yeah, game. It's one of these it's one of these games, dude. I forget what the fuck it was called though.
Some Mii fighters are now genderless. I don't know. Who knows?
I'll have to look at something
Yeah, if you find it, you let me know.
me game.
But another thing I think it's been really funny seeing is the Grifter.
Tomodachi Life. I'm sorry.
Tomodachi Life.
Tomodachi Life. Yes.
Tomodachi Life. I have heard of that. I think I saw
Yes.
it was. Oh yeah, they are making a sequel to this.
Yes, we are getting part 2 to this.
Yeah, they're making a sequel to this. Life Living the Dream. When is this?
2026? Damn. I'm gonna get so much content out of this game, dude.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, I have heard of it. I think this funny though is, have you seen the Nintendo 2 Grifters?
I have not, no.
So there's this there's a lot of YouTubers out there that will talk trash about the Nintendo Switch. Say, oh yeah, I ain't getting this shit.
Yeah,
buy it
but
anyway.
then turn around and get it.
The
Yeah.
funniest shit is when Mudahar did it. Did you see?
Yeah.
You saw that? You saw
I
that apology video? I'm just like, I remember when I saw it. I remember when because I watch some of his content.
Mhm.
I don't really like how clickbait some of his titles are, but I think he's like the one big YouTuber I still watch because I grew up watching him.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude said that he was not going to get a Switch, got a Switch anyway, and did a whole review on it, played Cyberpunk on it like it was nothing. I was like, I mean, it's like I was like, I've never seen that. I was like, did this dude say like a month or two ago he was not getting this? And
Content sells, dude.
And I'm
He
just
knew he could
like,
get content off it.
and I'm just like, damn, dude. Like, I really wonder, like, how. I feel like he had to have been just getting a lot of hate to make that apology.
Most definitely. Like from what I've seen on X, he was getting shitted on.
Really?
People were not having it. Like people were holding him accountable, pulling up clips from the video you're referring to like a couple months ago and saying, "Is this you?" All of this stuff. It's crazy. I think another thing about like the Switch 2 launch in general is the level of expectation people have on it. And maybe this will answer like the part that you talked about with like having that, that Nintendo feel or that like magical feeling that you get when you get a Nintendo console. I think for me and what a lot of people are like forgetting to realize is that I don't think the Switch 2 was ever intended or marketed to be like the next generation, if that makes sense. To me, it's always just been more of like a hardware upgrade.
I mean, but
And
this is
that's
probably Nintendo's new business model. They probably see it as the next generation. The Switch
they
2,
probably
the
see
Switch.
it.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say you're right. They probably see it as such, but in reality, it's like how the iPhones used to come out with like the 5 and then the 5S before we got to the 6. Remember that?
I do.
And so to me, that's what the Switch 2 feels like. That's what the Nintendo 3DS felt like when it came out. Because then what did we get after that? We got the 3DSi. Like that's another example of like how it just like the increments are not big. It's not like how we went from the N64 to GameCube. It's not like how we went from GameCube to the Wii. it's more of like the Wii to the Wii U and the DS to the 3DS, you know.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I look at the 3DS is a bit more nuanced because they had a whole fucking feature that added literally another dimension to the gaming experience. But that's kind of what I feel like the Switch 2 is like. It's not necessarily a full-blown jump into something that is like completely new. Because we've had the Switch for how long now? It's literally more of the same, just in a bigger form factor and some better hardware. That's literally and that's probably why that magical feeling is just not there.
There, yeah.
It's because we're so familiar with it. But when the Wii came out, dude, nobody ever had like motion controls or seen anything like it, dude. It was an experience unlike any other. It's
Oh, yeah, it was
why
magical. Yeah.
yeah, and like Wii Sports just helped throw that game like into the stratosphere, or throw the console into the stratosphere
I mean,
in terms of like its sales and popularity.
And I think that's like to my point. I'm glad you brought up Wii Sports.
Mhm.
I think Nintendo is more like they're less like when I think back to that time, Nintendo were just it's gonna be a weird example, just hear me out. They were just dudes who just made games, but now they genuinely feel like just more of a corporation. And the reason why I say that is because the Switch sold really fucking well. It sold really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Switch 2 makes sense. They were going to keep that momentum running, not try to change the game. The fact that Welcome Tour is packed in a paid console demonstration.
What is it, like $10?
Yes, but that says a whole lot. Wii Sports could have been a $10 game, but it wasn't. It was included.
It was going to be a $10 game. It was going to be,
but I love that Reggie.
Reggie talked them out of it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're losing. We're losing like a Nintendo who just, only primary goal is to just try to milk its consumers as much as possible. And I think that's I truly believe Welcome Tour should have been a pack.
I agree.
I mean, you have Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom is a free game on the PS5, right? That's just it's a platformer. And I'm just like, and I really don't. I actually do not understand why Welcome Tour is not. It is sucks because I want to play it, but I feel like an asshole wanting to play it, and it's just like it just seems like a waste of money at that point. And I'm just like, hey, do I really want to spend $10 playing Welcome Tour? And I'm just like,
I can give you a potential theory to that, and you can tell me how hot the take is or not. So, I am a firm believer that Nintendo does not have any true competitors in the gaming industry. I don't think Xbox or PlayStation are direct competitors to Nintendo. And I think they know that as well. And I think that cockiness, that boldness is starting to be more and more flaunted by Nintendo, which is why we're getting cucked with $10 like tech demonstrations and stuff like that.
So what we need is a Nintendo to do bad. We need a Wii U era. That's what you're basically saying.
That, or we need somebody to come in and just be an actual competitor for Nintendo. I think like the reason why Nintendo doesn't really have a true competitor is because of how tenured and how like the legacy IPs that they have, how popular they are. Like Mario is going to be Mario forever. There isn't going to be anything that can ever compete with that, and Nintendo knows that. And it's like that for a lot of their titles. I know they only partially own Pokémon, but the fact that you partially own the biggest multimedia franchise in the world, it speaks volumes to like the amount of power that you have over a given industry. And yeah, obviously Xbox and PlayStation, they're all in the same industry, which is video games.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they are competitors to Nintendo, or at least like Nintendo is a competitor to them. They're more so competing with each other, trying to buy each other out and like elbow each other out of the market share. While Nintendo has just always been Nintendo. I mean, like they had Sega in the beginning. They had like that kind of competition, but once they won that war, it's kind of just been like whatever, you know? Cuz think about it. This Switch 2, this is running hardware equivalent to like a PlayStation 4 Pro. If they were really competitors with like Xbox and PlayStation, I think they would be forced to kind of put hardware out there that rivals the current generation.
Yeah, it's more their
But
software, I believe. That's
yeah,
yeah. Like,
but because, their business model is more so on like the gaming experience, like gameplay wise, rather than like the actual graphics or hardware and stuff like that, it positions them a bit different in the market. And I think that positioning is so different or so far that there really isn't any like immediate contender with it because of all the exclusivity that they have on their platform. Because when you think about it, a lot of people, they either only have an Xbox or a PlayStation, but a lot of times, if they were to get a second console, it would be the Switch. More often than not, it's never going to be an Xbox and a PlayStation. It's always going
mhm.
to be accompanied by a Switch. Or if they have a Switch, you get one of the other two. You know what I mean?
I do.
So I don't know. Maybe you think I'm crazy. Maybe everyone in the comments thinks I'm crazy, but that's just my hot take. I just don't
I
think
mean, it makes
Nintendo has
sense.
a real
They
competitor.
software. I mean, Nintendo for the software game, Sony for the exclusive experience game, Microsoft just to be wherever they can get their games on. Game
Yeah.
Pass. That I think that's kind of what their strategies are. I mean, Game Pass is a huge, and I mean huge fucking push for them. So it makes sense. Uh, I just who knows? I mean, I wonder if because I know when we'll probably have to revisit this at the end of the month, but when their investor meeting happens this month, they may show their sales. Um, and
Nintendo, you mean?
yeah, Switch. Yeah,
Okay.
Nintendo will show their Switch sales. Switch.
Yeah.
Let's see if anyone, any, holy shit, who's
3
reporting it?
million?
Hang on, when did the story get posted? June 7th. Let's show this.
So that was today.
Nintendo
That was
Switch 2
today. A couple
sales
hours.
shatters records. Most sold console in 24-hour period. Nintendo Switch 2 is reported being the record for the most sold console within 24 hours and is on track to shatter the 2-month record. TLDR 3 million units within 24 hours. Tripling the PlayStation 4's previous launch day sales with strong global demand and ample stock is poised to break the 2-month sales record faster than any console in history. Jesus Christ. Bro, we're probably cooked in terms of like a more pro-consumer Nintendo, man. Oh man, dude. That is
Yeah.
3 million units in 24 hours?
That's
Oh,
crazy to me.
I mean, dude,
I didn't know it was that popular, dude. I had no clue. I thought it was gonna be like, dude, in a 24 hour. I thought it would be like 1.5, literally half of what it is. 3 million in 24 hours.
that is crazy.
Is this including pre-orders?
Control F. Nothing about pre-orders in here.
So this is just people who went to the
I mean, who
store.
knows what the metric is?
Yeah, because if it's counting pre-orders, then that makes sense. But if it's just people who went to the store, picked up a console like how I did, that's crazy.
That is wild, man. I mean, oh my god, dude, that is they are just they are yeah, I mean, we're cooked. I just like our economy is shit. A lot of people can't afford it, and if they can sell this many consoles, they realize they're gonna get away with it. With
And that's what I was talking about. Like the cockiness, the boldness, the audacity is just going to get more and more the more like money they make, the more
yeah,
consoles they sell. It's only going to get worse, and the next thing you know, like I'm surprised they didn't lock the fucking mouse features to the controller behind the paywall to unlock that feature for your control. They already have access to brick your system whenever they want to.
yeah, that's just
They
crazy.
could have easily just made like certain features on the Switch hidden behind a paywall, and yeah, it's scary, dude. It sucks, but I think the only way that it's ever gonna get better is if somebody else comes into the space as a direct competitor to Nintendo. But even then, that's a huge ask, dude. It's gonna be so hard for somebody to like
I
really
mean,
compete with them.
of the flip side of that is people would argue, are we part of the problem? I mean, people say vote with your wallet. I don't agree with a lot of Nintendo's doing. I still fucking bought the console because I want to play Mario Kart. What do you think?
And they know that. Nintendo knows that. The whole vote with your wallet, that shit is fake. That's like performing what is the term? Like performance activism or something like
I've
that,
never heard of
where
that term
people
before.
you might
Interesting.
want to look it up because I'm probably not saying the right term. Yeah, performance active, not
Mm,
yeah, activism.
oh yeah, well,
Performative activism. So yeah, it's like this where this girl is posting a picture of her holding a Black Lives Matter sign and posting it on her social media to look like a good person that supports a cause and all this shit. But after that post, when she goes home, dude, she
mm,
doesn't give a fuck about black people. She's probably racist as fuck. It's like just doing it to make face to look like a good person, to look like somebody who cares, or to look like somebody who's being progressive or a progressive thinker, somebody's like going for change. That's the
so
whole
similar to
vote with
the
your
switch
the
to Grifters
yeah,
stuff we talked about.
vote with your wallet shit. Like, dude, we just talked about how Mudahar was a wallet voter, if you will. This motherfucker went out there and still voted in favor of these practices. Like,
Another guy I
these
can think of who
people
did
don't
that is like
actually care.
Dreamcast guy who
Yeah,
he I don't know, do you know Dreamcast guy?
I think so.
Yeah,
I've seen
dude
like a couple of
dude
his
has
stuff.
like the most clickbaity thumbnails and says like, "Oh, Switch 2 sucks." You know, it still buys it anyway, and I get it,
Yeah,
you know, it's a game. You know, he's a content reviewer. He has to review it. It's just crazy, man. I I don't 3 million. They're gonna get away with charging this console this much. We're not going to see a price
dude.
cut.
And we're gonna get an OLED version maybe a year from now. People are gonna vote with their wallets.
It's gonna sell like hotcakes, dude. It's gonna
It's
sell like
dude.
hotcakes, and we're in a situation where, dude, $500 is a lot to cough up for. I mean, yeah, you can make the people can say the argument, like you said, like, oh, you know, well, if I make good money, why does it matter? I look at it as like, person for me, that's that's some people could probably only make to get a. Some people would have to make the sacrifice of like, hey, am I going to buy this game console, or am I going to have to pay for groceries, or am I going to have to pay for this? I'm paying for
Yeah.
grad. There is a subset of people who won't ever be able to afford a console this much, right?
And that's why I can understand if they have issues with it.
And I think the that take has the risk of like coming across very tone deaf. It reminds me of like Randy Pitchford, I think that's his name, saying, "Look, if you like our game, you'll make it work. You'll spend the $80." I'm just like, it's inflation. Yeah, you can probably make the argument like this is games are expensive to make. This is going to be the cost to make it. Then there's on the flip side, you have people like you have games like Claire Obscured, Expedition 33, $50.
Game of the year, by the way.
Mafia, the country company, country. I think it's country. $50. Stellar Blade. I think gonna be $60.
Stellar was 60. I thought it was 50.
I think Stellar Blade is 60. I don't remember. But there. I mean, what was that remake that came out a couple of weeks ago? That Shadow dropped.
Oblivion.
$50. There could be good games without costing an extra 30 something dollars. Like
absolutely.
A game I played recently, Doom: The Dark Ages. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I played it once, and I mean I would only play it again to replay it for somebody or maybe stream it for someone else. But that game could have been just a regular $60 title, or it really could have been. Mario Kart World, dude, being $80 Like,
I have it right here. I've played it, and I'm here to tell you guys today, this is not an $80 game. And don't get me wrong.
I was actually wondering if you would say to that.
It's fun. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. This is probably the best Mario Kart game for many different perspectives. It is not an $80 game. It's just that simple.
I've heard a lot of people say that. It's not.
At the end of the day, it's a Mario Kart. Mario Kart is not $80. That's just how I see it. I've played maybe like 10 hours of this game already. And in that 10 hours, I have seen or at least experienced 90% of everything that you need to know about the game. It's not like a open world.
People said that you could beat the game 10 hours? Like fully 100%.
I wouldn't. What is that? What they're saying?
I've heard a metric out there. I think it was from can't remember the YouTuber. Someone said that you can 100% that game in like 10 to 12 hours.
I believe it, because you can get through the Grand Prix pretty fast. The way you get the costumes is just by pulling up to the Yoshi's like little fast food spot, and you can just switch characters and keep going until you get all of the costumes. And then there's like some little missions and like collectible coins.
Yeah, the P switches and stuff.
Yeah, and that's it. There's no story. There's no like lore that you need to go like find and search for.
It was never there in any Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's a fucking Mario Kart game. Like it's not $80. I'm gonna just put it to you like that.
Would you say if they made not a sequel per se, let's just say a continuation on like what Odyssey was. Like we're talking like like a big ass 3D Mario game that's maybe even larger in scope than Odyssey. Could you see that being worth $80 if they wanted to charge it?
Are you asking me if I think it'll be worth it, or if I think that they're going to charge us 80?
Let's say both.
I think they're going to charge us 80. I don't think it'll be worth it. I think 70 at the most. Granted, I'm not a game developer or anywhere near the cycle of video game development, so I don't know how much it would cost to make a game like that and how much you would need to price a game to justify the money you spent to make it. But from a consumer standpoint, I look at it as how much content am I going to get out of this game? And is that content or the amount of going to be worth the dollars that I spend? And for an open world Mario game, 3D Mario game, at that scale that you're suggesting, 70, I think, is a good, place to have it. Mario Kart at 80 is crazy as fuck to me because you're literally just racing and driving around. Like it isn't even like Forza, which is literally the same thing. It's open world.
Yeah.
Forza, you have so many more cars. You have so many more customization options. You can
More
tune
depth,
the
yeah.
engines and like parts of your car. You can change the paint job on it. All kinds of so you can't do any of that stuff in Mario Kart. But to
And
be
if they
fair, you
had
can.
that depth, that would probably make it more worth it. Like, say if there was more tracks,
Yeah,
if there was more modes, like classic, team, versus. I'm guessing. I don't know if this stuff is even in the game or not. I hope
there's not even a 200cc
I
option.
saw
in there.
that. I saw that too.
Yeah.
I saw 200cc was just gone. I was like, okay.
Honestly, that might be a good thing because that game is so fucking chaotic. 200cc, you might have a seizure trying to play that shit with all the stuff going on screen. But like, but you know, it's like it's missing all these aspects that something like Forza, who is it's not a 1-to-1, but it is an open world racing experience
Yeah.
nonetheless. And that game is cheaper. That game is $60, it's $20 cheaper. Like that extra 20 is just the Mario tax. It's the Nintendo tax. Like you're paying that. Yeah, I mean, you're paying that Mario tax to experience his title. That you can only get it on Nintendo. You can't get it anywhere else. Let's charge these motherfuckers an extra 20. Let's see if we can get away with this.
And they did. They got away with it. I think it was another game. What other game is trying to cost $80 now? It was Microsoft. Microsoft announced our games are going to start first party select titles are going to be $80.
Yep, because Nintendo set that precedent of, hey, this is where we're going. This is where the industry is going, and Microsoft was like, this is where it's going. Shit, bet. So
yes.
$80 it is, and by the time Grand Theft Auto comes out. If that game is $100, I would not be surprised.
Dude, I was just about to bring it up. Do you think I could see it, dude. I could see it. I feel like it's gonna happen.
And I'm going to buy. I'm not.
And that's the sucky part. They know everyone's gonna fucking buy that title, dude. They know
they could make that shit $200. No bullshit, dude. I'm pretty sure if GTA 6 was $200, it would still break records.
Dude,
no cap. They would still break records. Not even bullshitting you.
Dude, that is crazy to think about, dude. And
but
like it's not even as crazy. I can see it. I can see legitimately. I can see $100. But I can also see them trying to charge $149.99 for that title.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, but you get the GTA 6 online like monies or whatever the fuck that they give you for like the shark cards that they did for Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever. You can spend $200. We'll give you $1 billion in-game currency for online mode." There are motherfuckers out there that are going to buy the $200 edition just for extra currency in the online mode.
Dude,
me personally, I'm not playing the online mode. I fucking live in Florida. I can go offline and live the shit. Like I don't need to play the online mode. Like I'll buy the game, but I'm not paying nothing for no shark card. I'm not buying that game to live in an apartment virtually. When I could literally go find this fucking apartment in real life and go to that I'm just gonna play the story. I'll give them $100. That's all they're getting out of me.
Dude, it's just they are gonna monetize the hell out of the online component of that game.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
It's I mean, they still GTA Online still makes I think $1 billion, give or take, annually from the online alone.
Yeah, and they're still making content for it.
And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? I'm just like, I'm here wanting like another Red Dead, a Bully, Manhunt, LA Noire.
Bully 2 would be my dream.
But like, I know we ain't getting any of that.
Like, yeah, no time soon at least.
freaking GTA freaking 5 came out when I was like I was like 14 years old. I think. Yeah. 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm gonna be like I'll be
26,
I'll be
right?
27 when I be able
27.
to I'll be 27 years old.
Fuck, dude. I'll be 28.
Dude, I'm gonna be in our we're gonna be in our fucking mid to late 40s.
Fuck, dude.
GTA 7 comes. I just
Dude, we might be like in an urn by then. Like either a hearse or an urn. Like one of the two by the time 7 comes out.
Dude, there's some people who have died waiting for this game, dude. There's some people who will
Yeah.
never see this game come to fruition. That is just
And
crazy.
that makes me so sad, dude. It makes me so sad for like the fallen soldiers who weren't able to experience something like this, man.
I wonder if you were like a dying cancer patient and one of your like make a wishes were to like play Grand Theft Auto 6 early, would they give it to you?
I can tell you right now.
They wouldn't. You think they wouldn't?
You ain't getting shit. You might get a t-shirt and a sticker. That's about you ain't getting shit, dog. These companies are cold-blooded. Like they might make you a little NPC in the game. That's it. And you wouldn't even get to see that NPC. Like, and then they're gonna misspell your name on top of that. Like, it's that bad. They're not doing that shit, bro. Like, it's very rare that you find like a wholehearted like story of that or something similar like that happening or whatever.
Do you so I know the state of play and Summer Game Fest, like I think was it like the same fucking week, both of those? Do you think-
Was.
Let's start with the state of play. I'm really curious to see like which one of these games in your eyes is probably gonna cost like $80 something. So I don't know any of these.
So which
Actually,
one I think are gonna cost 80?
Actually, before we start with that, I'm gonna say the only games I'm actually interested in this list: Silent Hill F.
Yep.
Probably the 007 game. That's actually it. No, from you play PlayStation more than I do. Do you have any anticipation like any of these titles cost like $80 something?
Ghost of Yute at the bottom. That I think is the only game on this list that has potential to cost $80.
Oh, this is the Ghost of Tsushima sequel?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think this is the only one that really has the potential to cost $80, and it's also the only one that probably would be worth $80. But it's not. I guess it's 60, 70.
Oh yeah, $70.
It digital deluxe, which if you ask me, is just shit that the game should already come with. $80.
I believe so too. They have a physical See, I like collector's editions. I think collector's editions are awesome.
Collector's editions are usually worth it because you get a whole bunch of stuff. But digital, like deluxe, no, because a lot of the stuff and gear that you get for the digital deluxe quickly becomes like obsolete
anyway.
as you progress through the story or whatever. But if you go back to that list, I know Metal Gear the remake is not going to be 80. Neo 3 is not going to be 80. But those are these are some games that I'm looking forward to. I also want to see, or I also want to play, I think it's back at the top. The Digimon game. I have a lot of friends that play Digimon, so that one is gonna probably be cool. And then the Final Fantasy Tactics is another one that I'm kind of looking forward to.
It's a JRPG.
Yeah, it's like sort of like Persona in a way, is what I was told. and so that alone kind of got me into it. And then I don't see it on here, but like there's a Marvel fighting game that is
Marvel Token Fighting Souls.
Yes, that's it.
I don't
Yep.
even have a page for it.
That game is gonna be fun. I'm not even a fighting game kind of guy, but I will buy that game. I know all my friends are gonna buy it. I will be playing that game.
There's no for the Summer Game Fest. Unfortunately, I feel like there's one game on here I love that no one gives a shit about.
Which I apologize because I know you asked me if they showed it, and I said no. I probably just missed it. Well, no. You asked me if it was on the PlayStation one, which I was right.
Yeah,
it was not on there.
It was
but
on
yes,
State of Play.
Yes,
I missed it too. My friend, I asked my friend, was Death Stranding 2 being shown? He said no.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, dude, you fucking asshole. I love my Death Stranding guys. Fortnite, Star Wars. I didn't even see that. What? Death Star sabotage event?
Yeah, just like on Fortnite though.
Bro, it's like everything in this IP. Like I've seen Godzilla, I've seen Marvel, I've seen freaking
Dragon Ball. Like
Jesus Christ, dude.
So Sonic Racing Crossworlds, if you want to go up there real quick, because I know we were just talking about Mario Kart and if it's worth $80.
Dude, I saw this game. This game did not look like it was being worth $80.
It's definitely not, but it offers a lot more in terms of like customization and like characters and like crossovers and stuff like that compared to Mario Kart, and they're probably going to sell this game at like a $50, $60 price point.
I can see. I can see.
Yeah,
60.
Which it just, I don't know. Like Mario Kart is still going to win that battle, no doubt about it. But it does make you
how popular the IP is.
Yeah, but it does make you put Mario Kart under a lens and kind of evaluate it that much more because it's like, hey, I can go play Sonic Racing with a bunch of characters from other universes. Sonic is still a pretty popular IP. Why not just buy this instead of spending $500 for Mario Kart?
I think though, they're gonna pump DLC into this game.
For Sonic?
No, for Mario Kart World. I feel like they have to, dude. There's no way.
I would be curious to see how they do that, especially with maps.
I mean, they did it with Deluxe. Oh, you know what? You're right, because it's all one.
It's an open world, so like you would have to add a fucking landmass to the map to give us access to drive on.
Dude, that's a good ass question. How would they do that? Holy shit!
I don't know.
Yo, I hope this is
characters make sense. You just add them.
I think that's probably what they're gonna do because there's a lot of random ass characters in that game from what I've seen. I think I can see them doing like multiple different characters. One game on here that I'm definitely can see costing 70, maybe 80. It's probably you already know it. They got me, dude. They got me. I was losing my mind when it was when it was announced. It's all the way at the bottom too. Yep. Right. Yep. RE9, dude. Oh my god, I can see that.
And I'm spending 80 for it.
I can.
I'm not gonna lie.
I can see them charging like $80 for this game.
And you will see an $80 statement on my credit card when that game drops.
It's getting to a point where I need to upgrade this computer sometime, dude. Because like I bought all my games on a PC and like I was running the demo for Stellar Blade, or as my friends will say, gooning to it. The game ran sort of fine, but like
I don't know, man. Like, the curvy mod stuff, you might have been. Albeit, what's her name? Eve. She doesn't need any kind of curvy mod for her game. So
they already exist, dude.
Yeah, they're there.
Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. They already exist. This PC is getting to a point where like I need to upgrade it sometime. it's on his like last legs in terms of like pushing games to its fidelity. And honestly,
Mhm.
like the only games I'm really looking forward to is Mafia, Death Stranding, um, GTA 6, now RE9, and the 007 game. But and honestly, I don't buy that many. I don't. There's a lot of games I just don't play, and I'm definitely more of the single player casual audience now. I don't play big multiplayer games anymore. Like I would love if I can get into any multiplayer game again, it would be Modern Warfare 2 remastered multiplayer, but Activision shut that project down. Or it'd be probably GTA 6 online. I don't have any multiplayer game I play. There just
I'm the
isn't.
same way. I'm the same way. I don't really play any multiplayer games anymore. I used to play like Overwatch a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
the toxicity in it just like I had to step away from it to for my sake, mental health wise. But I'm surprised you're not like a Pokemon fan. Like I don't know, there's something like
My I
I would
used to collect
just
Pokemon cards.
oh you did?
My first Pokemon card was Kyogre, and then my second one,
Kyogre? That's actually a pretty
Kyogre. I cannot pronounce these things correctly. Second was Groudon.
Yep.
Third was Giratina.
Guaranteed.
I don't know why all my first Pokemon cards were legendaries. I just like
Yeah.
them. Then I had Rayquaza. Um,
You got the whole all three of the weather trio then.
I think I wanted all the big Pokemons. I think as a kid, I just
Yeah.
like, yeah, this thing is big. And I didn't get into Pokemon until Smash Brothers. That was my introduction to Pokemon because I would remember fighting on like Final Destination and this big ass red animal would just appear on the screen. I was like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is that as a kid? And learn that, oh, this is Pokemon. This is cool. And like I think why I like the legendary so much is because like they were so mysterious. Like the audience would like when the one that appeared on the screen and like Groudon just stood there, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Mew when you got Mew, is it an it or a he? I don't know what gender Mew
It's
is.
technically an it. No legendaries have
Okay.
genders.
Okay, so like whenever he just flew to the screen, or what's that one where that Pokemon goes like that and like the screen just flips upside down? Is that Palkia?
Yes, that is
Yeah,
Palkia.
Palkia, and I'm just like, yo, these guys are insane.
Yeah.
And then Rayquaza just and because like, he was like in cutscenes, like I see
Yeah.
Rayquaza fighting Mario and Donkey. I was like, what the hell is going on? That was like my introduction to Pokemon. So yeah, I got into Pokemon like at 8 years old, and I mean, I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, honestly. I I've actually never played a Pokemon game in my life.
I would suggest that you try one. I think you would really like it.
I've never played a single Pokemon game. I know they're a lot of fun. I don't know if I should play the ones on the GameCube or the Switch or the Wii U.
I think they all have their own charm. Like you can really pick up any of them and you'll be fine. Don't play anything on the Wii U because there's no mainstream Pokemon game on the Wii U. You got to get like the mainline games like Pokemon Red, Blue, Green,
So that's the part I
Yellow,
was always
Gold.
confused. Are you supposed to buy both of them?
No, you're not. The reason why there's two versions of them was because back during its like conception of the game, they really wanted to push for like the whole trading aspect and connecting with other trainers to kind of trade Pokemon with each other. And the reason why there's two separate games is that each game will have Pokemon, like exclusive Pokemon to each version. So in Pokemon Red, for example, you can only get Arcanine there, or Growlithe and Arcanine there. And in Pokemon Blue or Green, depending if you're talking about first or third gen, you can only get Vulpix and Ninetales there. So if you were playing Pokemon Red and you wanted a Vulpix, you'd have to trade with somebody who had the other game, and send it over that way. And it has just been a long-standing tradition up until some of the remakes, like I forget what, like Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. I'm pretty sure those don't have Pokemon exclusive Pokemon other than your partner Pokemon being Pikachu or Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Legends series, so Legends Arceus and Legends ZA, those are all just one version. So there is no like exclusivity among like different versions of it. But all the mainline Pokemon games have, you know, a counterpart to them, and the only purpose of it is just to have different Pokemon and stuff like that. There were a few instances, like in Generation 5, where certain locations look different in Pokemon Black than they do in Pokemon White. And there might have been other times where that has also happened later down the line, but like other than that, there's really no fucking difference. Like it doesn't change anything other than the Pokemon you can catch.
Maybe I'll get into it one day. Maybe I won't.
If you do, let me know. I am very knowledgeable about it. And
Because I
if you
wouldn't
want
know
to,
what the fuck will be going on after.
yeah,
There was a man. Right. It's one thing I want to bring up. I know we're like probably I have not been looking at the timestamp and probably long, but there's one more
yeah, I'm
thing
curious.
I'm
Curious to see where we are because I have to pee.
one more thing, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
I wanna tell you about the Elon and Trump fiasco.
Oh yes,
Since
yes.
you are
Please do.
not caught up with what's going on. Let me pull everything up real quick. So we're gonna be on the New York Times. Got a little nice little do a little readout. So apparently all this started in the Oval Office when from my recollection, Trump had this bill, this policy tax bill that he wanted to do. Elon did not like it at all, and he criticized for it. And let's see here. Mr. Trump's sharp response kicked off a bitter online feud between the once close allies who had become more distant in recent weeks. Here's some of their pointed exchanges that played out throughout the day. So, President Trump began by saying that he and Mr. Musk had a great relationship, speaking in past tense, and added that he was not sure it would continue. Mr. Trump said that Mr. Musk, leader of Tesla SpaceX, he was upset that the pending legislation would roll back subsidies for electric vehicles. Then he got in a particularly sharp jab, asserting that he would have won. Holy shit, he actually said that.
That's crazy.
I mean, like,
That's insane.
so he's attacking his companies, and so
Yeah.
he says, yeah, you wouldn't have got my election win if it wasn't for me. Mr. Musk was watching. He renews his attack on the bill on X, his social media platform. Whatever. Keep the EV solar incentives cuts in the bill, even though no oil or gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair. But ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation that both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. You're a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. President Trump also maintained that Mr. Musk knew every aspect of the bill, saying that the tech executive did not have a problem with the measures until he left his government post. He said he was very disappointed in Elon. So that was like he said. And Mr. Musk rejected the assertion that he had known what was going on to be in the bill. Bro says false. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night so fast almost no one in Congress can even read it. After he objected to the idea that Mr. Trump would have won back office without his help. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Democrats would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. He also criticized the president for reversing course on his promise to reduce the deficit. Where's the man who wrote these words? Was he replaced by a body double? Oh my goodness. Maybe Mr. Musk suggested it was time for a new political party. decided to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle. Following his new conference, Mr. Trump turned to his own social media platform, his Truth Social, and fired
Yeah.
up 2 post response to Musk missives. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, I had to do it, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts, which is true. I don't know if you know, but Tesla, SpaceX, they get a lot of government, like, I think the right word is kickback and subsidies.
Yeah.
Like the EV tax credit and shit like that. Mr. Musk quickly punched back. Such an obvious lie. So sad. 2 minutes later, I think it's like the funniest one. Mr. Musk claimed there was references to Mr. Trump in unreleased government documents about the late financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein offering evidence.
This is what like I have seen. Like from this point down is the only thing I've seen. I didn't see any of like the political bills being passed and what led up to this point though.
Okay, so funny enough, I've seen everything up from top to bottom. All right, here. Yeah. I haven't seen anything after this. I just know the dude said he was in the Epstein's files. Like, what the fuck? I just like mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Mr. responded by defending his domestic policy bills, signing off with his signature catchphrase. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase. I think it's far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. And, make it great again. Mr. Musk kept a barrage of attacks, suggesting that his company, SpaceX, will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft. NASA relies on the spacecraft to carry astronauts, food, and other supplies to the International Space Station. He later indicated that he would hold off on such a move. In light of the president's statements about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning Dragon space. That is actually wild, dude. 2 minutes later, at least he said he's not going to actually do it, but still, that the fact that he even said that was consideration. 2 minutes later, he endorsed another user's post suggesting that President Trump be impeached so Vice President J.D. Vance can succeed him. It's just President versus Elon, who wins? I want to say Elon. Trump should be impeached, and J.D. Vance should replace him. And Jesus said yes. The Trump's tariffs will cause a recession the second half of this year. As the night grew late, Mr. Musk struck a more conciliatory tone. I support reduction of Elon Musk, and they should make peace for the benefit of our country. We're much stronger together than apart. And he says, you're not wrong. So my take is, it's I think it's wild that we have someone with a net worth of his stature in blue of politics. It seems so jarring. I know the whole saying, corporations run America. They do have a lot of governmental impact, but it's dude, the fact that this shit is just it's, I don't know what your opinions are, but I miss what politics used to be. I do.
I get you. Because it is weird seeing these billionaires and these CEOs take to Twitter or X, I guess, and express their opinions and their whatever it is. It just seems very informal. Because when we think of these business people, you think of press conferences, news articles, stuff like that. But that's just the power of social media, People are just using it to voice their opinions and stuff, and it's no different from billionaires.
I think Trump said that he was on drugs or something too.
Yeah.
These are
But people Warren Buffett and who's the guy that was the steel company?
The Rockefellers?
The Rockefellers, they never said much in when they were in their heyday or whatever. And so like I get what you mean. Like it's weird seeing these billionaires just like
Or maybe it's just political theater.
that too.
Just
It
to
could be. Maybe
just to
well
distract people from other things going on.
probably because they did announce that Popeye's chicken wrap and
What?
all that other not yeah, there's a chicken wrap coming to Popeyes and that has had a majority of X users just
I
like
thought they've already
fiending for it.
had I'm trying to think of sandwiches, chicken wraps at Popeyes.
Yeah.
Did they?
But you see, it's the same thing because when the chicken sandwich came out, a lot of people were like, thought they already had sandwiches or whatever, but they never did. And it's the same with the chicken wraps now. And people are getting distracted by that. People are getting distracted by the DDG and Ali, what's her name situation,
I'm
like
so
all
glad I
kinds of
am not on social
dumb
media,
shit.
dude. I'm so glad I'm not on
Yes,
social media.
I envy you for that because I can't help but see it, even though I'm not looking for it. It's there. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
So we're like at the standard runtime for a American film. I think it's probably a good time to put a pin in this. What do you say?
I agree. I
I
will
agree.
admit it didn't feel like it,
Which
but
is
I'm
awesome.
glad. Yeah, I'm glad that that's the case because it was enjoyable, and I'm hoping that you all watching as well felt the same, and that you come back next week for the next episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jamon, thank you, and I've been Bowser. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of The Workshop. We will see you sometime, hopefully in not too distant future. Adios.
Alrighty, see you guys.